Thank you for joining today's discussion from. So today our topic says, is taking medicine good for our health? So before proceeding further, I would like to know who's there.
Aditya Shah,
It's a Muntasir Ahmad Abir.
Namira and Neil.
Fatima Poshank.
So what's your position?
So we are against the motion. So we will speak disadvantage for like the taking medicine. Yeah.
And we're in favor of medicine.
So I
Okay, so firstly, medicine helps us to clear diseases quickly.
Okay, it may help us, like, what can I say? Like, get a cure from it quickly, much more quickly. But the thing is that it won't be sustainable. You will, like, catch the disease again and again and again. But if we try another methods like remedies, or you see, like a good exercise, then you may able to, like, regenerate maybe a little bit slowly, but still it will surely be much more sustainable.
Medicines can help us recover fast from our injuries like a cut or some other injuries.
But
Like my friends like talking about like if you are a soccer
Okay,
player
okay.
or if you play something, you need to get cured from injuries quickly. Then medicines can help us a lot.
But the thing is
But
that
the
you
thing is
see,
that
because of taking that much painkillers or other medicines or whatever, their performance at sports are getting downgraded day by day. That's why they can put up much better performance than they used to do earlier. You see, and many sports person also uses steroids. Mainly the racers. Who does marathons. So that's why they actually, like, what can I say, artificially gains muscles or whatever, and but that actually is very bad for their health, and they also gets banned from such sport competitions.
but you do have to realize that steroids aren't a medicine. It's like kind of a drug.
Well, if you are not considering steroids as the medicine, then I have a recommendation. Then don't also consider vaccines as a medicine, because that are also another different thing. If you're not considering steroids, then don't consider vaccine
Okay,
either.
so if you are mentioning that word, let me mention two. That's two. So
Okay.
there are also herbal medicines which are considered as medicines. Like all herbals
I
are
never
remedies.
mentioned herbal
But you
medicines.
did though.
I
You
mentioned
herbal,
herbal
but
remedies. That's
still,
another thing you have to
I know.
understand.
But still,
Okay, okay, now
there is
just
also
okay.
herbal medicines.
Okay, now listen. Okay, so I will just like to ask you, would you like consider steroids as a medicine, or if you're not, then you have to accept our recommendation and don't accept vaccines as medicines either. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna accept steroids or not? No, just give me an answer. Yes or no?
Coming to think of it, no, but ain't gonna consider
Okay,
it.
so you ain't gonna consider vaccine either. Okay, got
Okay.
it. Okay, I'm just gonna hand over the mic.
Okay. Now at the same time, if we're taking too much medicines at one point in our life or like in stage, then the medicine that we were taking in our early stages regularly, like almost every single time we had a disease, like I can say now, but then like if we're having it, it won't work as much effectively as possible, and it might eventually lead to one point that it will be actually slower to cure than actually exercising, doing yoga,
Yeah.
taking a balance diet.
But if you're in a critical situation, the medicines also can help you guys from get rid of the medicine.
what is your thought? Our topic
Is
is taking
medicine? Yeah.
medicine.
Good for our health or not?
Yes.
And we are saying that it is definitely not good for our health.
But in general, what we do that we normally take
Too much.
And most of the time, let me just
Okay,
mention
but the
something.
thing is that
Most
they
of the
also-
time, we buy medicines through a prescription, and the doctors always give us when to use that medicine. The doctors never give us access. And if you mention about sponsorship, that's just the bad doctors. We are just not gonna go to some random ass doctor. We're gonna go to some good doctors, aren't we? And I know you're gonna also mention about poor people how they go to bad doctor. That's also a topic. But you do have to realize that in general,
mean by bad doctor. That means
now,
not
I
qualified.
don't mean not qualified. Like those who takes bad sponsorships, bad medicines. That's what I'm talking
But
about.
you
Not
do
the
realize that much trained doctors also, like, take sponsorships and also influences the patient to take what can I say like company based medicines.
But you do have to realize
Yeah,
that
okay.
not every sponsorship company is
But
bad.
the thing is that now listen,
in
listen. It is majority of them are bad.
we are
have
talking
to
about
consider
general, sir, not only Bangladesh, sir.
no, but you have to consider it in this country.
About the new point, I want to ask you guys a question. So, what about if you got your any of your bone got broke? What will you do?
Bone break is not an exception. If you even use a medicine,
Bone pain, he mean
will your bone be
bone
repaired?
pain.
But
I'm a moderator. I'll
I
let
witnessed an evidence for 10 years. But I found that herbal medicine is
honorable moderator. Can I please say? So he said if ever bone is broken. So is it possible in any way since now that we can rebuild like put our bones back without using artificial intelligence?
What do you mean artificial
Or
intelligence?
doing any surgeries. And but if you are having a back pain, you can simply just get a massage or like have what can I say?
Oh,
You know,
okay,
like take a hot
listen.
bath.
First of all, listen.
Okay.
Your back pain is not something that you're gonna get yoga or something. It's like it could be
I
a
did mention
bone
massages, you stupid. Okay.
bone
I'm sorry.
disarrangement. Then you could get yoga, but it is not horrible that you could get and yoga.
Acha, okay.
he claimed that if you have a minor pain,
Sir.
Then you can basically just take a massage.
I'm not talking about minor. I'm talking about high, severe.
Okay, now.
I'm just
would you like to add any points?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So at the same time, if we're taking medicines, like what I can say, every time when we're having a small disease, as I have already said, if we're taking like a painkiller every single time, we'll also have a side effect as well.
Okay, first for most, let me mention that people take antibiotics, and antibiotic is not a painkiller. Like you are not
I'm
gonna
not
take a
talking
pain.
about. I'm not talking.
Oh shit!
So we are randomly taking
It is a painkiller. Yes, it is.
But
But
smaller
many people
injuries.
nowadays, if we're thinking about nowadays, then many people doesn't even be like conscious of they're taking medicine. They just take medicine if they're feeling like a headache or a small fever. They don't realize that what thing is actually happening, and they just take some weird medicines without
If
even
we
some
have
prescription.
small injuries, but the small injuries can also lead to the big injuries, like we should take care of them so fast, like we can use some light medicines so
Oh,
that they disappear.
okay,
Like
well,
if you, for example, have a small.
Okay, 1 second. So,
Okay,
whatever
sir.
moderator,
Okay, let me just add.
him out one question.
Okay. So let me talk. Asthma is a permanent disease, as we all know. There is no herbal medicine, like as I know of.
Even there's no exercise for that.
Even there's no exercise or yoga that can fix asthma. You permanently have to take inhalers or you die.
Okay, now listen. Okay, now just listen. If you're saying that there are no herbal diseases to at least like cure, you may be right. But if you're taking inhaler for one sort, like if you're taking it, you're not gonna get cured. But you have to deal with the disease and also have a medicine along with
Okay,
it.
but
Now
listen.
listen, there are some herbal like what I remedies that can also work like inhaler. I'm not saying they will cure it as well as inhaler doesn't, but they will at least have the like sustainability to live as herbal remedies
But
can.
you do have to realize that.
so I will let you know. Okay, now listen. You're saying that if we catch a disease or if we get infected by something, we should just take medicines. But you do realize if we create public awareness, we can actually keep the people prepared before the what can I say plague outbreaks, and so they can basically develop an immune system so that they won't even catch the disease in the first place. I know you're gonna like what can I say about vaccines, but I already said vaccine doesn't count as medicines such as steroids. So you see. So that's why you see. I mean, let me just give you an example.
Okay, but the
Now
thing is,
listen,
my
listen.
friend.
A French king in the 1700s actually tried to like get immune system which can endure poison, and he actually succeeded it. Do you know how? He basically took poisons, I mean little amount of poisons day by day, and he gained an immune system such strong that in the day when he really wanted to like kill himself, like commit suicide, he had to stab himself. He couldn't like just drink poison. And same goes for diseases. If you like get immune to it, as I mentioned, like maintaining a
But you
balanced
can't
diet.
take disease a little amount of diseases every day, can you?
Well, you will see, you do realize that you don't have to take medicines. You can just take, what can I say? You can just basically like endure it and it may get naturally cured. But if it doesn't, then maybe you should, consult the doctor. But you see, we are now talking about is medicine good for our health or not? We might need to take it in vital cases, but mainly it is not good for our health since it has many side effects and it is also reduces our immune system.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to clear the things up. We talked about small rashes that can go on part to other part of our body quickly that we need to take medicines of. And also, I'd like to mention one thing. Like for example, let's say you have cancer.
Okay.
Like you have cancer, and you need to like there are many medicines that can not cure cancer but slow the process. So let me ask you: would you slow the process, or would you suffer with the cancer forever?
But the thing
But the
is,
thing,
So you already said that in
yeah.
serious cases.
Okay, now let
So
me
would you like to
just.
take add any?
Actually, no.
Yes. No, I'll actually like to pass it to my teammate.
Okay, now let me just add another point. Now listen,
come on.
if medicines were really like, what can I say? If we really needed medicines that much, then how did people back in the ancient times actually lived with the medicines when most of them weren't even, invented? I know you're gonna say that most of them died at the age of 40, but you do realize it's not mainly because of the lack of medicines. It is mainly because they had an unhealthy lifestyle and they used many things such as arsenic as dye. So that was very unhealthy for their health and slowly like rotten their
Well,
health.
actually,
So that's how they actually only lived at the age of 40. And I'm not even saying about wars and all the things that happen in those times.
bro, you talked about ancient times.
Bilingual Learning Center, BLC, Bogura.